there folks, Lucifer, LeGivorden, coming back at you with another video, and I'm going to try not to make this too long of a video, but I'd like to start off with a bit of a reading from my book, the Satanic Testament, and it's not a long reading. It's in the section, at the beginning of the section of the Infernal Diatribes, and people will recognize this as being from the Book of Satan. And this is going out to all you STS members out there that watch my channel, that hear me during my masses and whatnot. Well, something happened this morning between two members, and it was solved, it was resolved, but I want people to listen to what I have to say now. And to get your attention, I'm going to say this. In this arid wilderness of steel and stone, I raise up my voice that you may hear. To the east and to the west, I beckon. To the north and the south, I show a sign. Open your eyes that you may see, O men of mildewed minds, and listen to me, ye bewildered millions, for I stand forth to challenge the wisdom of the world. There have been people who have said that I preach satanic unity, and in recent years, yes, I do. But more importantly, I don't preach satanic unity in the way that most people think I do. This morning there was a bit of a conflict between two STS members. One member has had plenty of people ask me, can't we just kick him out? He's too aggressive. He's too hostile. You know, he insulted me, he did this, he did that, he did the next thing. My answer is always no. We can't kick out this person. And to that same person who people ask if I will kick him out, he always says, well, why do we need this person? They're weird, they do this, they do that, they're not of us. I'm going to ask my STS members who have a copy of my book, of any age. It could be the first edition, it could be the third edition, it could be the second edition. But I would like you to turn to the section in the first Satanic Testament called the Satanic Confliction and read it through and understand it. And maybe then you will understand why I say, no, we're not going to kick this person out. We're not going to, and why I would tell that person, no, we're not going to kick them out. I don't like kicking out members just because they're different. They might be slower or more advanced. Doesn't matter to me. They might be more aggressive. They may not be fit for certain roles. They may not be a person who I would like to have in front of a news crew. Or maybe they are. Who knows? The point of the matter is, I don't preach unity between various satanic organizations because I preach tolerance. Tolerance of the different pathways. Tolerance of the different ways that Anton LaVey spurned the fires of Satanism. And there's no bones about it, whether you like Anton LaVey or not, whether you believe that your system of Satanism predates his or not. Anton LaVey sparked a satanic Cambrian explosion. Now, I explained in that same chapter that I mentioned before, the Satanic Confliction, what the Cambrian explosion was. And I even mentioned the Satanic Cambrian explosion. And what that was is a burst of creativity, a burst of experimentation, of finding the true satanic pathway. Some systems formed that stuck. Some systems branched off and developed their own thing. But for years now, we have been fighting each other. And I'm happy to say that since STS has opened its doors, much of that fighting between the major theistic groups has ceased. But the fighting between Satanists doesn't just go between the different groups. STS is a unique organization because we have many different systems, each grotto having its own flavor. We have a central core system that is based on Anton LaVey's works and can be found in my writings, from the Satanic Testament to the Black Grimoire, up to even the Red Grimoire and the Satanic Priesthood's Manual. It doesn't matter. But each grotto, one thing that I always understood and one thing that I continue to express to each individual grotto is that on your own time, in your own ritual chambers, you do you. You don't do anybody else. It doesn't matter if this person thinks that they're right and that person thinks you're wrong. No. We have a central system that we can all come together under. If two people hate each other, if they don't get along, if one person thinks the other guy is weird and asks stupid questions, then move away from that person. One thing Anton LaVey always preached to us was to surround ourselves with the individuals that we felt enriched our lives. And that means that we're not always going to agree with one another. One thing that I've recently been speaking to, I've been speaking to Tom Blackwood. Yes, the same Grand Magister Blackwood that years ago every Satanist was criticizing, and many Satanists even today criticize and call him the clown prince of Satanism. I've been speaking with him. I also speak with Druidian Pendragon. Druidian knows that I speak with Tom Blackwood. Both men, for years, didn't quite care for each other. They still haven't spoken. But they both speak to me. And both, over the years, have realized that they are getting older. And while maybe neither one of them wants me to express this opinion, they both realize that in order to move forward, sometimes rivalries of the past should be laid to rest. That's right. I'm not going to say that both men have spoken to each other, because they haven't. But they want to. I know that's a bold claim for me to say here on my channel, but it's the truth. I've spoken to both men about talking to each other, and they both agreed to it. We haven't formed a time or a date yet, but we're working on it. We're getting there. They may not like each other, they may not agree with each other. I know that Tom Blackwood has an ego the size of Texas. Okay, so maybe more along the size of Canada. But the fact of the matter is, they both are willing to take that measure. They're both willing to take the step of tolerance. And that is what we need to do even inside our own organizations. We can surround ourselves with people that we agree with, that we get along with. It's human nature. The main problem with many of these organizations is one thing. They're populated by people. And people develop rivalries, conflictions. This is healthy. It's not a bad thing. But it's not always a good thing either. Sometimes conflictions have taken too far. If rivalries go too long, they stagnate, they ruin things. They make what could have been good turn sour. Rivalry is a good thing. It's healthy. It enables us to grow, to experiment, to find the right path that is right for us as individuals. There's a saying that I'd like to point out to a few specific members. And sometimes I have to remind myself of it because even I get aggravated. There is no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one that you did not ask. There are only stupid answers. That's the truth. You can get mad at a person. You can get upset because that person may not be asking the kind of questions you think are prevalent to Satanism. They may not vibrate on the same wavelength as you in STS. That doesn't mean that they're not a valued member. They may not move up in the ranks. I know that there is a number of members that I do not expect to ever move up in the ranks. Some of them are basic members. Some of them are active members. And, some of them will always stay at the position that they are. Some of them will grow. I hope, that some of the ones that I don't think are going to grow surprise the shit out of me and develop into wonderful, advanced, and brilliant magicians. Now, I'm going to tell everybody, go back to your Satanic Testaments. Read the Satanic Confliction chapter. In the Satanic Testament 3rd edition, you can find this on, give me 1 second, page 165. Go back and read that. Understand why we don't kick out people willy-nilly. There's been 1 or 2 people who have left the organization or that we have kicked out of our company for whatever reason. That always happens. That happens and it's unavoidable. But generally speaking, it's not done lightly. I've had some of my highest guys tell me that we need to kick out such person because of this problem or whatnot. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it because they still can grow. They may not be of the same path as you, but we are looking to achieve an end here. We are looking to achieve a goal, and the only way that we are going to achieve that goal is if we can set aside our petty little differences and learn to tolerate each other enough to work together. And that's where I'm going to leave this video off at. I'm going to close with a reading of the Enochian keys. And I'm going to read the 8th Enochian key here in English. And before I do, I want people to understand that I'm not saying that this key reflects me, because personally speaking, I do not feel that way. But more, I think it reflects every individual who takes that step forward to end the division. And the 8th key speaks of the coming of a priest that will end the division of Satanism. The eighth key says, the midday is as the twat of time, made of the pillars of hyacinth, in whom the elders are become strong. I have prepared for my own justice, speaketh Satan, who liveth and reign forever as a shield to the downtrodden. Rejoice in the glory of the dragon, that is triumphant and everlasting. How many are there which remain in the glory of the earth, which are and shall not see death until the house doth fall and the dragon doth sink? Come away, for the thunders have roared. Come away, for the temples and robe of him that is to be shall be crowned and are no longer divided. Come forth, appear unto the terror of the earth, and to our comfort, and of such as are prepared. What does that speak of? I did say I was going to end this off with that, but I want to touch on it for a quick minute to help people understand what that speaks of. It speaks of a house falling and a dragon sinking. Who knows what that means? The house is the religion of Satanism, and the dragon, Satan himself, of course. And as the old saying goes, a house divided is no house at all. It says, come away. For the temples, the robe of him that is to be, shall be crowned and are no longer divided. That means the person who can step forward and say, I hate your guts, but we got this job to do, and I'm going to work with you, and I'm going to put all that aside for the betterment of Satanism, for the betterment of Satan, for the betterment of myself and of you. The person who steps forward and can do that will be as a king, a leader in Satanism, a leader in his community, or her community for that matter. Appear unto the terror of the earth, to our comfort, and of such as are prepared. The terror of the earth. What is that? That is Satanism, undivided, unrivaled with itself, at peace with itself, its members, finding a way to work together, a religion that is feared by all and unparalleled, one that can overcome any obstacle because of its unification, its tolerance. And to our comfort, and of such as are prepared. It means only those people who are prepared to take that step forward will find the comfort of this. The ones who seek to continue to sow division between ourselves, between our members, between our organizations, between everything that Satanism stands for, will find no comfort, no peace, no tolerance, and no unity. This means that the atheists who like to preach their rhetoric and say Satan doesn't exist, obviously we're not going to get along with them, because we do believe that Satan exists. And in our own doctrines, he wants us to get along with each other. But it's more than just our own doctrines. It has to be between us, because in this key, it says, "Speaketh Satan, who liveth and reigneth forever, as a shield to the downtrodden." Satan is willing to protect us in this, because we have downtrodden ourselves. We have become the downtrodden to everybody else. News groups treat us as a sideshow, only to be drug out this time of year of Halloween. Other satanic groups, such as COS or TSD, think that the theistic groups are a joke. And then other groups like TOS, the Temple of Set, Temple of the Vampire, whatnot, couldn't care less about groups like ours. They couldn't care less about the theistics, even though they may be theistics themselves. So this goes out to every STS member who may have a problem with another STS member. Remember, you're all STS. You're not always going to get along with each other, and if you have to block each other in order to move forward in a healthy way, then do so. But remember, when the time comes for us to come together to achieve our goals, there will be no blocking each other. There will be no arguments. There will be no shouting matches with each other, because we will work together. And the ones that are willing to do that will grow, no matter what sort of mental disabilities they have, no matter what personal hang-ups they have. They will grow. They will become more developed and more powerful because of what they can push through, and because they can work together. So with that being said, read the Satanic Confliction in the Satanic Testament. Go back and look at it again. Bit of homework, folks. Until next time, tell me what you think in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. You know the routine. My name is Lucifer, LeGivorden, and I'm out of here.